So what I'm going to show you today is, and I hope you saw already the agenda, it's not really the LS Central as such as a product with all its features, but more what is now LS Central today in terms of Dynamics 365, because it become now a part of Dynamics 365 family. And especially looking from the hosting perspective. So how fit LS Central now into the cloud business or cloud solution, what Microsoft is pushing now so much. So my name is Maciej Drost. I'm a team lead by TSO-DATA in Nuremberg, responsible for the LS retail projects and implementations. The agenda for today is first to talk about the Dynamics 365, so what it is, what is the portfolio of this platform, what is actually SaaS or software as a service, how does Business Central look like in on premises and in the cloud, what is actually the cloud, do we have only one cloud or are there many different or couple of different versions of the cloud and installations possibilities for Business Central, and at the end how LS Central fits to the whole world of being in the cloud and how it looks like being now based on the Dynamics 365 Business Central. So let's start with Microsoft Dynamics 365. Microsoft defines this as a product line. So not the one product, but a line of product of enterprise resource planning systems, so ERPs and customer relationship management, CRMs, applications. So it's a product line of applications. This is how Microsoft is calling this. It got officially announced some late November 2016, so it's not that old, but also not that young anymore. It's being sold in actually two editions. It's for the small and medium sized, where the Business Central fits very well, and for the medium and large customers. So it's already comparable to SAP products. And this is the old AX platform. I don't know if, so for those who knows already AX is also part of Dynamics 365 meanwhile. And this is for the medium and large organizations, let's say. So what is actually in the portfolio of the 365 Dynamics world? This platform is divided into group of applications. So behind those groups are certain subjects, let's call it like this. And there is group of sales, application, service, marketing, finance and operations, talent, AI, artificial intelligence, growing right now, very strong, mixed reality, where you can combine the real world with the, let's say, artificial world or virtual reality. And at the end, our Business Central application that LS Central is built on. So I will go through all of them very short because there are some very interesting applications that I want to present to you. At the end, I will tell you why I'm showing to you all of those and why it's so cool now to be with Business Central and with LS Central also in this environment, or be able to be, because it's not a must, but you will see it later on. So first, from the sales perspective, sales applications are to manage your prospects, to prioritize them, to increase sales by building the proper relationships, to, for example, with the Microsoft Relationship Sales application, connect your Dynamics 365 for sales with LinkedIn. So bringing those two words together. So also managing your customers through LinkedIn. or with Dynamics 365 product visualize application to have a very special, interesting tool for selling products and presenting them to the customer. I even took a small video from Microsoft to show you what this Dynamics 365 product visual is good for. I will try to run it. Yeah, so this is an example. This is one of the apps that Microsoft is or has developed and put it as part of the sale application groups on the Microsoft Dynamics 365 platform. Actually, you could see in this video not only this visualize application, but also how it's already connected to, for example, Teams. I don't know how many of you are working with Teams, but you could see that there were some screenshots made and sent via Teams, and there you can just discuss with somebody from, I don't know, service teams. And actually also from this application, you can automatically send emails and get a response, and that will be also saved in the team. So this is already the first good sign that everything is connected on this platform, including the Office 365, which is actually also software as a service platform. The next is the service group for your technicians, which are, going to the customers, doing some technical stuff for your agents, so just to help them on the field service. And again, here we have a couple of applications, Dynamics 365 for customer service, for field service, for remote assist, where, look at this, using the HoloLens from Microsoft, you can connect. So being on site, being a technician on site, but not very well skilled on, or not having the superhero skills for the machines that you are doing the service on, or having an issue that your know-how is not enough to fix it. You can also, using Teams, build a phone call so that the service employee sitting in the back office and having this know-how can support you, because he see what you are doing, and on the screen that the lady has in front of her eyes, she can see also his hands or an arrow, whatever, showing what should she do, or even then putting some text. What Microsoft did now in the last months, they are also creating a proof of concept for a phone application doing exactly the same, so that you don't have to invest the money into the HoloLens, but you can just use the phone. And as you can see, there is the arrow showing something. So this is the service employee sitting somewhere in the back office. So this is again improvement, because you don't have to send the very well skilled people on the field. You can just have them centralized. You don't need so many of them. Being able still to do properly service and make your customer happy. The next one is marketing, where you can target your buyers, where you can run multi-channel campaigns, and. Finance and operations, this is the old AX. So this is for really enterprise installations, comparable to SAP, to keep it simple. Talent is for hiring new employees, but on the other side, also to improve your HR services. For the hiring new employees, you can just create interviews, create online meetings, create like a checklist and send it out, ask somebody to fill it in, and that will be everything then saved in the application. You can also connect it with LinkedIn, and on the HR side, you can create a lot of like self-service processes just to improve your HR in the company. Very interesting part of Dynamics 365 is artificial intelligence. So more and more decisions nowadays are going to be made on the big data analysis, and this is where artificial intelligence is strong in. So learning based on big data analysis, and then doing the proper decisions. Very interesting news, I think a couple of days old, from Lithuania, from the Eastern Europe. Those guys are so far already with artificial intelligence, nothing to do with Dynamics 365 first, but artificial intelligence in general. They want to let artificial intelligence decide about the cases below $8,000 in the court. So if you have a problem with law and or some fiscal problems, whatever else, that so there will be no people needed to take the decision, but there will be artificial intelligence. So you will somehow, this case will be saved in the system with all relevant data and information, and artificial intelligence will take the decision, guilty, not guilty. I am simplifying it right now, I know, but look how important it is today. And in the next 10, 20 years, artificial intelligence will really blow up and will take part on the decisions in our life. Another good example is maybe more from our corner. Fujitsu was working on an artificial intelligence analysis system for self-checkouts, because there was a problem that I've heard. So the use case that they brought was from UK, that a lot of people were, for example, taking a bottle of expensive whiskey, going to the weight, putting it on, and scanning or weighting as it would be bananas, and then putting the label from bananas and going back to the self-checkout and like taking $50 worth bottle for $1.99 because they scan it and that was the weight of 2.5 kilo bananas or something like this. And Fujitsu is now using the artificial intelligence to recognize with a couple of cameras on the self-checkout by scanning the barcode if this bottle looks like bananas. And if not, the transaction is being blocked, red light is turning, and there is a manager interaction required. And this is how they want to stop this this stealing procedure. Very interesting stuff. So artificial intelligence is coming. It's actually already also within LS Retail because they have so-called recommendation engine that can be set up either based on the member history. So if you scan a member in the transaction, also the member and its history is being taken into the analysis. If not, only the content of the basket is being taken, and LS Retail is sending a request to the artificial intelligence engine that is analyzing all of the data and bringing up some cross-selling proposals. So if you're buying a shoe, maybe they are fitting socks, whatever else. So also there we have already artificial intelligence. Here on the Dynamics 365 is again a corner for artificial intelligence that if you are on the platform and you will buy this product, pay the subscription, you can use it. I will tell you later on how you can use it, because right now we are talking about different applications and it's somehow unclear how they are getting together at the end. I will tell you in 5 minutes. The next one is the mixed reality, what we had already in the sales part, where you can combine the virtual reality with the real world. Actually, nothing new because I know that IKEA is doing it already a longer time, that you can put some furnitures into your house, but also as a part of Dynamics 365, so everything connected together, where you can, as you could see, already put some notes on these pictures, so make some meeting minutes, send it to, put it even into your offer, send it automatically via email, so everything is connected. And at the end, our Business Central, where LS Central is building on for small and mid-sized companies, ERP solution, all-in-one business management solution. And now is the question, we saw now different regions or different subject, sales, talents, marketing, ERP for enterprise, ERP for small and medium, how to get them all together. Because the platform makes only sense or existence of the small applications if we can somehow connect them. And if you ever had to use data from multiple systems and applications together, you know very well how common data elements can help us, can save the effort. And this is what Microsoft did as well. So they have created a common data model, which is actually nothing else as a kind of shared data language. And it's being used by the business, which are our ERP and CRM systems, and the analytical applications. So Power BI, also artificial intelligence. It consists of a set of standardized but still extensible data schemes. So Microsoft published some standard models that are common for all of the applications that are on the Dynamics 365, but it still can extend it. So there is a language, there is a platform, how to extend it. And you can see on the screenshots on the upper side, we have the applications 1 to n, and on the lower side, we have a data sources. So we can also connect this common data model to different sources of data. If these are text files, different systems, and so on. So we can also pull the data from outside to create our big data package. And this is how the applications are working together. Of course, the prerequisite is that you are in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 world in the cloud, in the Microsoft cloud, because there all of those exist, all of those based on the same common data model where they can just pull the data or put in. Like, let's imagine that our Business Central or LS Central, if it's a POS transaction or if it's a sales order invoice, is going into the common data model, and from there artificial intelligence application is pulling it, or our sales visualize application is taking the item information and the pictures and the 3D pictures and presenting them so that the salespeople can have it. Or our ERP system is sending the services that we are offering to the common data model, and the field service application from the service field is pulling it in so that the service employee being on site on the customer side and doing some services can choose all of the services that he can charge, and it's just immediately creating invoice, charging, doing payment, and. So this is how the whole world works together. So this is about the Dynamics 365. Now I will make a small jump into the cloud, or actually the definition of the cloud. But before this, there was also a question in the agenda: what is actually SaaS? So what is software as a service? And the software as a service is a model of delivering and licensing software. And about the delivering, software offered as a service is being hosted by an external provider, so somewhere where we are not involved at all, and being offered on the subscription model licensing. So you're just paying monthly some amount. It's typically being accessed by user using a thin client. So in, I'd say 99.8% of the cases, it's just a web browser. Sometimes you will see it later on. Also, LS Retail has a small application to access the system, but this is only because it's not only about showing to the user interface, but also about accessing some hardware like scanner, like printer, whatever else. And then you need to have a small frame that has also access to the local hardware that you are carrying in your hand, for example, like phone or something. So, but the 99.8% web browser is more than enough. SaaS is becoming a common delivery model for many business applications today, including Office, your Office 365. It's completely software as a service, still with a local footprint, but it's actually completely as a service. Messaging, payroll processing software like PayPal from the cloud. Collaboration support tools, or maybe even working with Jira, with Confluence. Everything software as a service. CRMs, and at the end, our ERPs, which actually up to the 3 years ago, everything was only on-prem, nowadays are more and more in the cloud. Software as a service has been incorporated into strategy of nearly all leading software providers. Nowadays, Microsoft as well. So a couple of years ago, Microsoft decided, hey, cloud is the future, and all of the on-prem systems like AX and NAV, right now Business Central, are now also available out of the cloud. Not only, but also, and you saw being on the Dynamics 365, what is the advantage of being there? There are also some disadvantages that I will tell you in the next seconds, but the big advantage is you are in the big family, you have access to all of this application, you can utilize the common data model and all of these applications that can help to drive a business. So we said now what is software as a service, but is software as a service the same what cloud is? Can we just use it either or? Not really. So Business Central is offered on-premise and in the cloud. On-premise, I think we all know. So we have to take a package, installation package, and we have to take care for everything, for hardware, for operating systems, and so on. But what does it mean from the cloud? Does it mean SaaS, software as a service? Only software as a service? Not really. So on-prem we know, but cloud means also infrastructure as a service, one of the options. Maybe platform as a service. And at the end, what we spoken about is software as a service. On the next slide, I'm trying to compare those four implementations methods, let's say from the infrastructure point of view, just to give you a better understanding what is it about. So everything written in red is where you have to manage those. Those in a green is somebody is doing it for you. And let's start on the left side. So on-premise means that you are taking care for everything. You are buying the SQL servers, you are buying the Windows computers running the services, and. So you are managing everything. Infrastructure as a service means that you are renting from somebody computer power. So somebody is doing the networking for you so that you can access the computers, is taking care for the storage, is doing the servers, virtualization, and so on, so that you can access those machines. But you have to install the operating system, take care for your installation of your system, take care that all of the services are running, so nobody will monitor it for you. They must run. And of course, for the database, SQL, and so on. Another model is platform as a service, so that you are renting a already prepared platform. The platform has a Windows operating system, is running, somebody is taking care that there are patches, Windows patches going on, that all of the services are running. So you are only responsible for your database and your own application. The rest is being done by the cloud service provider. And the last, the software as a service, that you are actually buying a software. People call it software on demand. So you are using it if you need it. Otherwise, you don't know where it is, where it's being located, saved, who is doing maintenance, you know, nothing. You are only using on demand if you need it. Exactly. So the left, the on-prem, is totally on-prem, is on your machines. The three on the right side, these are already cloud solutions. Now, on the very right side, the software as a service is actually cloud that you don't have to take care for. You don't know which cloud, where is it located, where the data are being saved. Those two in the middle can be either your private cloud, if you have a data center because you are a big enterprise company, or a public cloud. Can be the Azure, can be Amazon Cloud, can be T-Systems Cloud. So there are many cloud providers. Some of them are better, some not. But this is Actually, on all of those four, you can decide what's the best way for you to run your LS Central in the end based on the Business Central. Somebody is, I think, asking for dynamics for retail. Unfortunately, this tool does not allow me to make this question bigger. Unfortunately, I don't see the full one moment, maybe like this. Yeah, so good question. Somebody is asking for actually how in the whole world, so what is the Dynamics 365 for retail? Dynamics 365 for retail is very strongly dependent on the enterprise ERP system. So it's actually being made for the for the Dynamics 365 finance and operations. It's working only with this. It's part of this ERP system actually, and it's, I think, always being sold even with this. So they have like packages how finance and operations is being sold, and the retail is a very strong part of it. Maybe I should not say it loud, but I assume that this even based on an older deal LS Retail had with Microsoft, where they sold the first version, because LS Retail in the past they did also a POS for AX. And as far as I know, because Microsoft was pushing that time very strong for AX, so they were buying from the partners or from the ISVs, the independent software vendors, all the nice feature for AX just to make it end-to-end available from Microsoft House, also including retail and all other areas. This is slightly different in the Business Central world, where Microsoft is preparing the base and the independent software vendors, so Microsoft partners, are preparing the verticals for retail, verticals for production, verticals for warehouse. So just extending the standard by all of the features that I needed. On the AX side is slightly different, or the finance and operations, where Microsoft is trying to put everything what they can already into the standard product to make it available for the big corporations. And I cannot tell you 100% if this is the old retail for AX from LS Retail House, but I know that Microsoft took over this AX retail part from LS and developed it further. If this is at the end something similar, I don't know, but this is very strongly connected to finance and operations. So I hope I answered the question. Okay, coming back to our software as a service. We said what are the different installations procedure or models that all are manageable with LS Retail or with Business Central, and right now LS Central. That it's just dependent on what the customer has today, how the customer wants to drive the business, how critical are the data for the customer. We know that in different regions there are different, I would call it religion in terms of where do I want to have my data saved. and at the end, how the customer is positioned already today, if having own data center, own private cloud, if it's consuming public cloud, and for startups, of course, right now, very good option is the software as a service, because you don't have to make a big investment. You are just paying monthly fee, and you have full capable system available for you. On the on-prem side, of course, you have to invest the money into the hardware, into support of the hardware, into licenses for the buying. So what are the, of course, pros and cons? So if you are going for, or if you are a big company and you have a lot of your own satellite systems that need to be connected to your ERP or to your retail system, then the recommendation is to go for the 2, or let's say the 3 solution from the left side. So on-prem, infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, because there you have a good connectivities. So you have a good interface possibilities, because you have access to your database directly. You can build interfaces. You have your data in your virtual machine where you have direct access to. You can install there additional software, middleware, where you can exchange the data in and out. So if you're doing a lot of interfacing job, then you should have the access to your database, and there we are recommending the left side on this slide. If you are a standardized company, so you like to adopt to the standard processes, then of course, and you don't have to interface a lot of data. So there is an interface possibility. There is a data exchange possibility also in the software as a service. But due to the fact that we don't see the database directly, it's behind the firewall, and we can only show some web services or using like different technologies, but still we have to like push and pull the data through the network, through the internet. So the capability of exchanging big data, or very often, is not that good. So this is a clear limitation. If you are just starting your business, or you are just running, let's call it a simple business, so not interfacing to a lot of systems, you don't have a special PIM for articles, big local data warehouse, and so on, software as a service is a clear recommendation. Go for it, because it's easy to implement. You are very quick on the market. There is no investment, and. Another difference between software as a service and going for the private or public cloud, but having the database in the hand, is the possibility of extending of the system, or putting your unique changes, or developing on the system. So having the system in the hand, so being on-prem or being in EaaS or platform as a service, it's still a kind of on-prem installation, because we did it. So you did it as a customer, or partner did it for you, but still somebody from IT did it, so has access to all objects, can change them. So we can adopt them. If you have your unique processes that you would like to have, then you have to be able to change the system significantly. And this is possible only if you are not software as a service. Because if you do the software as a service variant, we can only use the so-called extensions to extend the system. So there are like events provided by Microsoft, which are touch points. You have to imagine those as a touch points where we can connect our code that we developed for you. But that's all. We cannot change the root functions of Business Central. So this is one of the limitations. Of course, on the other side, if you are using the extensions and you are software as a service, Microsoft is doing the whole maintenance and putting new releases and taking care for the performance and for the data. So you are actually free and you are always on the newest version versus on the on-prem or in the private cloud, let's say, where you are taking care for the data and for the application, you have to take care for the upgrades. So this is always the decision that you have to make between choosing software as a service or one of the on-prem infra as a service or platform as a service, where you are responsible for the database and for the data. But on the other side, you can do with the system whatever you want. You can significantly change, you can adopt it to your corporate needs, corporate processes, and so on. So this is always the decision that needs to be made. Exactly. LS Central on the base of Dynamics 365 Business Central, as spoken, also available in those 4 different models because it's based on the Business Central. So your choice how you will install it. And now, because LS Central is ready for all of those 4 models, it's actually following, because the software as a service is the more challenging model, because you cannot or it's somewhere in the cloud, so you have to utilize somehow services that are far away from you. You don't have impact on those. So this installation from the product development point of view was the most challenging one, and that's why LS Retail decided to go for the web client. So not having a big footprint in the store, but really utilizing the thin client, the web browser, also for the POS user interface. So as a consequence, this LS Central and LS Central POS, especially POS, because this is the most important from our point of view, is available on all possible devices. If it's a regular POS, or if it's a tablet, or if it's even a phone, you can have exactly the same POS running on this without really any additional effort. And the beauty of this is that at the end, those 3 different user interfaces that you see, the one on the regular computer with a lot of information for every single article, or the one on the tablet where you see right now only item groups, or the one on the right side which has actually user interface nearing to the regular POS, all of those are built on the same system. So there is no additional development needed. What you see on those 3 is just a different configuration that even you can do it by yourself. It's a complicated configuration, but everything happens in LS Central, in Business Central at the end, in those tables. So there is no special software needed to do the configuration. It's everything done in the LS Central. The colors, the user interface, how it looks like, what is the structure of the items, and so on. Everything is there, and you can just use those 3. Actually, every single device. I have now another question. For SaaS, can customer decide about cloud vendor, for example, AWS, others? Yes. For SaaS, no. No, so SaaS is LS Central SaaS is only on Microsoft Cloud. If you are going for the platform as a service or infrastructure as a service, there, yes, you can decide where you will put it in. If it's about software as a service, This is only Microsoft Cloud. I hope this is okay that I'm jumping to the questions if I see them. It's just, I think, good if we are just right now in the topic or have been like 5 seconds ago, just to answer those and not to wait to the end. So you see, it doesn't matter if it's iOS machine or if it's a Windows or if it's a Android. This is running everywhere because everywhere you can run just your Internet Explorer and run this system. The only but that we have for the non-Windows application is that you can imagine that if the system is somewhere in the cloud and we are accessing the system through the web browser, we don't have access to the local hardware. So we don't have access to scanner, to the local printer, to your cache to your cache drawer. And for this, we need a small Windows computer in the store. So this is the one and only footprint that we have, where we can install the so-called hardware station that is supporting or managing the local hardware. So the scanner, the cache drawer, and the printer, and maybe the line display. And at the end, also the EFT if you have an integrated card payment service provider or you would like to have. So the one hardware station installed in the store on the Windows machine is doing this for us. And then the POS, the web POS, the GUI, is communicating to this service, to this hardware station to manage the local hardware. So this is the only footprint. And until now, for this, we need a small Windows machine because this service is only running on the Windows. The POS can be on iOS, on Android, or on Windows tablet, computer, whatever. But still, we need somewhere a small, very small computer. Nowadays, you can buy it like for 150 euro, like a small box that it's not bigger than a 3.5 inch disc, and somehow put it back on the monitor or whenever you can and run this service there. So this is theoretically everything what you need if you will go for the central installation in the cloud. So how is the LS Retail Cloud concept in terms of LS Central from the cloud? So if we have everything installed in the cloud, so if it's a software as a service or your private cloud or infrastructure as a service, but somewhere central installed or maybe your private cloud, it's enough in the store to have only like the browser and, as I said before, this hardware station so that you have access to your hardware. You can scan, you can print, you can show on the line display something. And this is what they call online POS. And there is no local data saving in the store. There is no database in the store. Disadvantage of this is if you have a network card, you have no POS. On the other side, we are already since a couple of years before this web POS, so this POS via web browser was available, we are running also by some of our customers online POS, also using the regular client where you have to really install everything in the store and still connecting through the internet to the private cloud of the customer. And also there it's working fine and the people are happy and they are not complaining that they are losing network. So if you will have a look also in your internet service provider agreement, there is an outage of maybe an hour or even 5 hours per year spread through the whole year. And in my opinion, and also in opinion of those customers, it's more than enough to run the online business and to save the whole costs of maintaining the machines in the store, installing the databases, replicating the data, and in the case of the local computer will crash, to do the whole recovery, the disaster recovery procedure. The central databases in the cloud, they are mirrored, they are backed every 5 seconds. So actually that in the cloud, the crash happens is not really possible. You know how it is in the store. Sometimes the cleaning lady is just pulling the cable to put the vacuum cleaner into the plug, and your database is being unexpected shut down by a writing transaction because something happened in the night, and data inconsistent, and then you have to take care for backup, restore, and then. So it's just I don't want to say that it's a like bad option, but it's just an option that you have to invest time and money into those. Nevertheless, we have customers and we have countries also, especially some emerging markets, but also places where you know that you have maybe power outage, not only network, but power outage because of any reasons. And they want to go for the called hybrid mode. And the hybrid mode is nothing else as having a database in the store, a small database, so not really supporting all of the services, because this is still we have processes like the selling, so being the front to the customer, which must continuously running. So also if you have some outages in the store, where you maybe have your power supplier or on the network outage, you want to still continue selling. This is the most important process. If you will do the goods receipt in the store now, or in 3 hours, or in 4 hours, this really doesn't matter. Or if you will have the inventory scanning upload now or in 2 hours, that will also not break the whole world together. So we can wait with those processes, and this is what the hybrid mode is. So still, the, let's say, store processes in terms of inventory are still being online processes. So we don't have to replicate all of these documents, shipments, goods receipts, and so on. Everything is in the central database, and then you can do the processes if the network and the connection to the cloud is established. But what we do locally is the sale process. So we have all of the items, we have all of the promotions, we have all of the members. This is also, you can decide, for example, about the members, if you allow member transaction, if the offline scenario or not. The same with vouchers. Actually, it's not recommended, but some of the customers also say, hey, I want to have all of the vouchers in the store, and this is my risk. If somebody will use the voucher in the offline store and 5 minutes later use in another online store, but the online store will not know about the redemption of the vouchers because the old store is still offline. So this is just a risk that the customer or you as our customer, you have to decide, do I want to go for this risk, or it's too risky, I want to have it on the online. But the regular sales, so scanning of the items, applying of the discounts, of the promotions, of some mix and matches, of turnover discounts, this is everything running offline in the hybrid mode. Also, if the network is broken and you don't have the connection. And then after the network recovers, the data director is replicating the data, and you have them all in the central database, and you are still online. And the last, what I prepared for you is, a moment, we have another question. Let me have a look. Why I don't see it bigger? There was a question about the security, if I understand it, because unfortunately I see only part of the question, but you are just working with certificates, and those certificates are allowing you to connect to the cloud, so that no other endpoints can just go and do something in your name, let's say. And of course, the whole user setup, password, end. So this is quite good secured. And what I now prepared for you is just so that you saw at least a couple of seconds the LS Central from the cloud and the web POS. I prepared a web POS live demo. Let me only switch the screen. I hope that it will work. I hope you can see the screen. And this is, look at this, I'm just now using the web browser in a full screen mode, but if I will press now F11, it will go out of the full screen mode. So this is just a proof that this is not fake. We are really in the web browser looking on the POS, and this POS is then somewhere in the cloud. So right now I'm hosting it locally, but this is just where this link is going to is then just a matter of a setup. And then I will show you, because going to the web browser user interface, it just opened the endless possibilities of doing something really nice and fancy with the user interface. And I will tell the clienteling POS today to present it to you, because clienteling POS is actually a mixture. It's a mixture of a regular POS, as you can see it now on the screen, and the web shop. So just giving to the cashier much more capabilities in terms of serving the customer. And you see right now we have here 2 items, but I will now go to the shop, and I'm still in the same system. So it's just a different user interface. And in this different user interface, I see that we are going over time, but give me please 5 minutes and I will close the session. Here, you can just utilize all data on a slightly different way. So first, you see much more information. You can have a look and view some details of this item. This is everything on the POS screen, so that everybody is on the same page. And you see some specific information that you would want it to show it to the customer. You can directly put it to the basket. But what you can also do, you can say, I want to compare this to a pair of jeans, and you will just say compare, and compare them. And we are still on a POS screen. If it's tablet or if it's regular POS, still a POS screen. So you can just easily compare them, inclusive price and Farbig, ironic, stretch, washing. So all of this fashion information. And easily from here, you can just, by clicking it here, adding to the basket. Of course, we have to choose variant, so we have to choose the size. And if we will now go back, we will have our 3rd item in the basket. So this is how the web POS is running, and it's exactly the same and much more than it was before on the regular POS. So we are already over time. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that the name of the session was a little bit misleading, because it was about LS Central all-in-one solution, but I hope, looking on the agenda, you already just been prepared what we will talk about today. So being done LS Central and taking it as a software as a service from the Microsoft Cloud, being part of the Dynamics 365, you have access through this common data model to all of the Dynamics softwares, including artificial intelligence and mixed reality and whatever you can imagine you could use and need. Yeah. So right now, your decision. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much. And I will show you only on the last slide my email address in case you have some questions or you would like to share with me your feedback. about this session, if it was good or not, what was missing. If you would like to know something more about it, more about the less central, more about dynamics, just let me know. Thanks a lot and have a good day. Bye-bye.